Hi, and welcome to Hustle and Pro, episode 204. I'm your host, Kelly Walker. Today we're going to come from you from Toyota Stadium. We're going to have a brief conversation with an FC Dallas player. We're going to look at what's going on at the stadium and talk about how they're kicking off their MLS season so far. Enjoy this episode as we talk to FC Dallas goalie Michael Collodi. Do people call you Lodi? Is that a nickname?
One person has called me that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a nickname?
No, it's just I'm just called by my last name normally.
Okay.
It's normally just Collodi.
Tell me just briefly, what's the path that you got to the MLS in your own words?
Yeah, so I joined the FC Dallas Academy it was 12, so I think 2013, something like that.
You were 12?
Mm-hmm. And so I was there through 2019, in which I went to, I did 4.5 years at Columbia, just because COVID happened during it, so there's a whole lot of logistic stuff with there. Then I came back with North Texas for the 2024 season, and then signed with FC Dallas for 2025.
Okay. And so we're here at the end of March, and you just got your first start. So was that Saturday, just a couple days ago?
Yep.
And it was, I guess, a little unusual of a game. So what are you thinking when you're out there and 23rd minute, there's a red card? And so how does that change your strategy, and that does it take a little bit off of you for a second?
I think naturally that's kind of what everybody's first reaction is, but it's kind of the idea is what we had at halftime speech as well is kind of we can't let off, because I mean you still have to play the game, and you can lose the 10 men, and we've seen it happen before. So that was just something we wanted to make sure we didn't. An advantage that we didn't want to let go of.
Right. As a fan, I'm like, oh, that's great, great for you. But then it's kind of like that's also a trap, right? Is
yeah,
to
exactly.
Think, okay, now we can lay off a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to get comfortable with it.
Right, exactly. What's your support system here locally? How long have you built a family and a group in Frisco, in this area? Yeah,
so I grew up here. So I was born in Plano, and then I grew up in Frisco, just 15 minutes down the way. And so my parents are still here in Carrollton. So they are around for everything. They flew out to Utah for the Salt Lake game, so they were there for that as well. So, but I mean, went through high school here, so I have a lot of friends here, but a big part of it's just the club, because I've known everybody in here since I was younger, since I was a teenager. So that's a huge part of it.
High school was Plano or Frisco?
I went to Lone Star.
Because of Academy, because you were in the Academy by then.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew that. I should have known that. You said Plano.
That's just the hospital I was born. I lived in Frisco.
Okay.
I lived out the southeast by Centennial and all them.
So you claim Frisco.
I am in Frisco. Yeah. I was just born in Plano, technically.
Gotcha. So your family's able to come to matches and watch you?
Yep. They come to everything they can.
Just curious from your point of view, growing up here and playing here forever. So a couple things. Is it game or match?
I normally go with match.
Field or pitch?
Depends. We grew up in the U.S., so it's field.
Do you say field? I do.
I flip-flop.
You do?
Yeah.
Sometimes you do say pitch.
Yeah.
Cleats or
boots?
Boots? Okay, so that's a no-brainer. It's always boots. Kit or jersey?
Kit. Match kit.
Okay. Oh, do you say football?
Yeah, I do sometimes. I like using football. I think it's the correct term.
So, if you were to meet a stranger and they say, "What do you do?" What do you say?
No, I say soccer. Because
you say soccer.
It's in the U.S., if you say football, I assume American football.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so then with the World Cup coming through next summer, who would you most want to see come through here and stay? A delegation that's going to be up here in Frisco. What delegation would you be most excited to see up here?
The U.S. I mean, trying to, right? But no, I mean, I think it'd just be fun to get out and get a match here, or just have them around, whether it's using the training facilities, training here, whatever.
For sure. What goalies did you grow up watching and taking some, tips from? Yeah,
so I have my 3 favorites of all time. So I have Casillas, grew up watching him with Real Madrid and all that, Neuer, and then Buffon. So those are my 3 favorite.
What makes you, maybe you pulled something from them, I don't know, but what's your signature? What makes you a strong goalie?
I think something that I've worked hard to be really good at is just my ability to play with my feet and be able to play out and help and build out and stuff. So I think that's a very strong suit of my game.
All right, let's look at where FC Dallas stands. We're 6 games into the MLS season, and we are 3-2-1. So we beat Houston at Houston 2-1 with goals by Musa and Julio. We possessed 44% of that game. We tied Colorado in Colorado 3-3 with goals by Pedrino, Acosta, and Musa. We lose to Chicago at home 3-1 with that goal by Farrington. We actually possessed 46% of that game, so more of the first two games. Then we lose back-to-back games. We lose to Vancouver at home 1-0. Then we go to Salt Lake and win 1-0. That was a goal by Acosta and the red card in the 23rd minute that we referenced. So while we should have possessed a little more, we only had half of that game. So 50% possession for the win over Salt Lake. And then we finish out March with a 2-1 win at home against Kansas City with goals by Acosta and Leo Chu. So that puts us at 10 points, and we are 6th in the Western Conference, Vancouver at the top of that conference, and on the East, Inter Miami's at the top of the Eastern Conference. So we'll check back in later on in the season. I want to cover one more topic in this episode. It is the official kickoff for construction of Toyota Stadium's east side. The event to kick off happened this week, and Frisco Mayor Jeff Cheney, Moss Construction Senior VP, FC Dallas President Dan Hunt, and FC Dallas head coach Eric Quill were in attendance and had a few words to say about the kickoff for this construction event. And I just want to make sure everybody knows where you can go find out more about it, because this construction is a multi-year project. The big obvious thing when you look at the renderings is the shade structures. So there's going to be coverings that are going to cover all seating areas to help give shade during that nice hot Texas sun. There's going to be more concession stands, more restrooms, more clubs, elevated experience, even a new press box location and redesigned press box area. So when you head to newtoyotastadium.com, that'll give you a ton of information, tons of pictures, a cool video, all that good stuff that you can see. So to wrap up this episode, I'm going to play a few clips from the speakers at the Toyota Stadium kickoff event this week. So hope you're excited about these renovations. It's going to be, a little uncomfortable as we reduce capacity for the next couple seasons, but once it's done, it will be worth it. It will be an amazing venue for not only soccer, but football and all the other things that we use that facility for here in Frisco. So enjoy.
So on Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, a lot of us in this room were across the street because it was a really, really big night. The Frisco City Council unanimously voted to approve the $182 million public-private partnership to renovate Toyota Stadium and begin development of the area surrounding Toyota Stadium, where we stand, and Toyota Soccer Center. An incredible partnership like this would not happen without incredible leadership. And that partnership with the City of Frisco is the testament to and begins with incredible leadership. We're thrilled to partner with a city who has an incredible leader in Mayor Jeff Cheney and his team.
Thank you. Another exciting day for Frisco. I think it's almost fitting that it's raining today, because a big part of the improvements is this beautiful roof covering that's going in for the comfort of our fans in the future to protect them from the elements during future games. So I think it was meant to be here today. My name is Jeff Cheney, Mayor of Frisco. I'm honored to be here and supporting. The original groundbreaking happened 20 years ago. Who was here 20 years ago for the original groundbreaking? A lot of people out here. It was the middle of nowhere, literally, in a farm field. Our communication staff sent me some photos, and you can, I think, see the tollway in the background, which is, I think, a 2-lane asphalt road leading out here. An incredible vision from Hunt Sports Group to believe in what was going to happen in this community. And now 20 years later, we're having effectively a re-groundbreaking of this amazing facility. And it's no longer the middle of nowhere. This is the middle of where everything is happening in North Texas. It's the epicenter of growth. Main Street will flow all the way through. There's major city investments happening here, and it's going to be the heart of this community. On behalf of our city council, we're proud to partner with you. Thank you for being just an amazing community partner. We've crowned champions here from hosting FCS championships. We've seen concerts, lots of memories here. We won't talk about May of what happened at Jimmy Buffett concerts here over the years, or Edge Fest, or Ozfest, or all the amazing things that have happened in this facility. But this is to look forward for the next 30 years and continue to have FC Dallas as one of our partners. World Cup is coming to the region here very quickly, and it's only going to grow the popularity of the sport. And we're proud here in Frisco to be the home of the professional soccer team of Dallas. And so, on behalf of our residents that love coming to games here, love coming to events here, thank you for continuing to invest in our community. Thank you for investing in the stadium. And I don't want to steal too much of Dan's thunder, but I've heard him say many years what his father would always say, which is, if you take care of your stadium, it'll take care of you. And this is our efforts to really lean in to make sure we're taking care of FC Dallas, our professional soccer franchise right here in Frisco, Texas. So again, thank you and congratulations.
And as Mayor Cheney alluded to, you've seen some great events here at Toyota Stadium, and you're going to see many more when Toyota Stadium fully reopens. I'm just curious, who here has been to an FC Dallas match? Players, you can raise your hand. Thank you, Michael Collodi. Thank you. Clean sheet, Michael Collodi, by the way. Who's been to an FCS championship game? Yep, awesome event. Thank you, council members. A Dallas Cup match? Pretty cool stuff. You see the future in Dallas Cup. How about a high school football game? Yep, been there too. Covered many of them here. North Texas SC match. Won a championship here. How about a Hall of Fame induction ceremony? Pretty cool moment too. If you have experienced those, congratulations. Why? Because you've probably seen the likes of ESV Eindhoven striker Ricardo Pepi, who came through the FC Dallas Academy, through North Texas SC, and played for FC Dallas. Probably saw Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Nick Bolton, who played high school football at Frisco Lone Star and played high school football right here on Toyota Stadium. Probably saw U.S. Women's National Team star Jaden Shaw, Frisco resident, Frisco native, who played Dallas Cup matches here. You might have seen U.S. Men's National Team star Clint Dempsey and I see Kelly Walker shaking her head, show an incredible show of emotion during his Hall of Fame induction speech, something that you rarely see from Deuce. Or you've seen this incredible roster of FC Dallas players right behind you. Thank you for being here, gentlemen. Do incredibly special and enormous things. A man who is truly pioneering and shaping our modern sports landscape. Of course, I'm talking about Lamar Hunt. You saw his statue right there on the north side of the stadium, center of the concourse there. Visionary, pioneering, all the adjectives really don't do that man justice. His vision, though, is now carried on by his sons. FC Dallas Chairman and CEO Clark Hunt, who couldn't be with us here today, but FC Dallas President Dan Hunt is, and would like to share with you how Frisco got to host Toyota Stadium, FC Dallas, all of us, and much more.
Thanks, Gina, and thank you for being here today. I would be first remiss not to mention John Wagner. Where are you? You're somewhere around here. There you are. Jimmy Smith, Billy Ray Johnson. Billy Ray's here. These guys have been with us for a long time and are really spearheading this project. And John and Nancy sitting next to you, you get a big thank you too for always being by his side, supporting us. Without them and their hard work, projects like this would never happen. And I'd like to also say special thanks to Wes Pearson. Where you're around here, there you are. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job for this city and this community, and so thank you for all of your hard work. And obviously, Mayor Cheney, without your leadership and council and CDC and EDC and school district, this place is so special. But I thought I would take you guys down a little bit of memory lane for us and how we wound up here. We originally were going to build a stadium in another city, and it just didn't work out. And I knew my father was down, and his health was failing at the time. And he read a story in the Dallas Morning News about this community, this great Frisco community. And the head of it was George Purifoy, for the city manager, who across the hall is the great George Purifoy City Hall, which is an amazing city building. My father said, I've read this article about George, and I want to go sit down and visit with him about the possibility of finding a home for the then Dallas Burn. So they went and had lunch, La Hacienda Ranch, for those that remember it. And I remember waiting at our family office as my dad came back in, and I said, well, how did it go? And he said, we have a deal, Dan. He said, George Purefoy's a man of his word. We shook hands and we have a deal. And that really is Frisco, Texas, right? That's what makes this place different and so special. And so you think about the good fortune of that. And we fast forward, and Mayor Cheney referenced it. Why we're at this point now is you take care of your stadium and it will take care of you. And this is a community that is thoroughly invested and thoughtful in doing that. And it's not just FC Dallas, it's all the great community assets. And that's, again, when you have a council like this and a school district and different financial organizations like that drive this economic engine that make this place so different. And then the final thing he said, as his health was really failing, was he said, guys, I put you in the right place. He said, I know we're early, but I promise you this. In a number of years, Frisco will be the epicenter of DFW. He said, and I promise you, he said, the toll road will also go to Oklahoma, which he was right about because it's headed that way. But he said, I promise you put it in the right place. And it wasn't because of the geography, right? It was because of the people. I look around the room and there's so many friends in this room, and there's so much continuity with people who've been working on this for so long. And so he was right about all those things. That was why he was such a visionary. And he loved this game so much. He was so passionate about it. And this is really a hotbed. But, we're getting ready to take the next gigantic leap forward in this. We're going to be building what I think is going to be the finest small soccer specific stadium in the entire world. All right, and I say that, recognizing that this is a global game, but it will have more suites, it will have more club seats, it will have the largest video board. We're doing everything Texas size here. And as Mayor stole my thunder, we did cue the rain. That is why we are building a roof around this too today. But, so often I think back to these conversations I had with my dad, and I'm so thankful of the citizens of this city and this community, the taxpayers, right? They deserve an economic return on what we're doing. We are going to literally program this thing to death, right? He wanted as many college football games as we could bring. He wanted concerts here. And so you have the promise from Clark and myself that we are going to program this nonstop. You're going to continue to have MLS matches here. We're going to attract the national teams here, both the men's and women's national teams here. We hope to have a ton of playoff games and lift a lot of trophies here. But as you think about the good fortune in life and circumstances, our great fortune was to wind up in a place that we feel loved and share the love back with such a great community. And the vision for this is to be the premier soccer venue in the entire world of its size. But I also comment on the fact, the vision of my dad to put 17 fields out there, it's been a total game changer. There are almost 2 million people a year that come through this facility. And this truly is a factory of dreams. And I look at it at our first team here, and so many have come through the FC Dallas Academy and taken the pathway through either North Texas or to college in some cases, and come back home to have this opportunity to play professional soccer, the game that we love so much. And then I think about players like Nick Bolton at the Kansas City Chiefs, who's a star linebacker. And I tell a funny story. I was with Nick recently this last season. I said, hey, great news. We got stadium improvements improved at Toyota Stadium. He goes, are you going to build a roof structure over it? Was the first thing. And he said, you need, without even really looking at it, he goes, you need to build that roof in the northwest corner because that will shade the field and the stands on the east side. I guess that's why he's a Pro Bowl linebacker and Super Bowl champion at different times. But this is just the beginning of this journey, right? And we have had an amazing 20 years, but we're long-range investors and we're long-range partners. And it's not about the next 20 years. It is now about what the next 100 years looks like and where this will take us and how we continue to grow FC Dallas, how we continue to grow North Texas, how we continue to grow the men's game, the women's game, support the school district, lift trophies here, right? Because that's our number one objective, and also ensure that the taxpayers receive a return on their investment. So I am so excited that you're here today to celebrate this great new beginning with us. I'm so thankful. I look forward to working with our friends at HKS They've done a fantastic job designing it. They've been our partner since day one. They built an unbelievable National Soccer Hall of Fame, and I think this redo will be one of the nicest buildings. And you know, selfishly, I look forward to supporting our first team players and hope that several of you represent your country in the upcoming World Cup 2026. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of it. We have so many partners that we're so blessed to have, and as I tell everybody, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I have the greatest job. I get to grow the beautiful game that I love so much, and I get to do it with so many people that I love and care for. So thank you guys for being here today.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Hustle and Pro. Subscribe on YouTube and check us out on Instagram, and we'll see you next episode.